Hey everybody, what I'd like to talk to you today about is institutional abuse. That's one of the forms of abuse that I went through, and that is pretty much like it sounds. Have you a loved one in a nursing home, in a mental institution, in a residential facility of any kind, and are you sure that they are being treated appropriately? Are you sure they're being treated humanely? I don't mean to make everyone paranoid, but it is something to be concerned about in many different types of institution use. There's a couple of organizations that really support and advocate for these victims of institutional teen and youth institutional abuse, and that's the Prevention of Youth Institutional Abuse, or PIEA, as well as SIA, not the artist SIA, but the organization Survivors of Institutional Abuse. I know that SIA has been low on funding and can use all the help they can get. When I tell my story, it sounds like hard to believe. I went so many years, a few years just holding the real complete story of what type of place I had been in and for why. The people that I got to write to down there, all my incoming and outgoing mail was read. And my phone calls were monitored, and I could only call home, and that was one 20-minute call a month. But, I was 17 years old, and I was obedient, and I didn't have to be kidnapped in the middle of the night by strangers, dragged to the car in handcuffs like some people were. But I was held there against my will and abused. After the age of 18, as an American citizen, them withholding my passports from me having no money for a plane ticket anyway to get back into the States, and no support from my parents, I was and nowhere to go there. I was forced to stay there. I'd actually finished school soon after my 18th birthday, so graduation wasn't a problem. They waited until at that time their headquarters were in Indiana, and so their actual graduation ceremony was there. So luckily I got to go there to graduate, and my parents were like, I've graduated from school. They didn't want me to continue. There's 3 different, or at the time, phases of the program. They, wanted to send me off to a wilderness camp because they wanted to keep getting the money in. And my parents were finally like, no, we're done. My parents weren't aware of the extreme and extent abuses that were going on there. And I can go more into things, but I did feel helpless. I didn't want to be there. I had no choice of whether I could leave or not. It's a very powerless feeling, and I already had some mental health challenges, and it didn't help. It definitely didn't help. There's a lot of people that have come out of these programs, gone on to have very successful lives, and many people just could never, get going. And I wasn't a problem kid before I went here, and when I came out I really wasn't, but its effect eventually took its toll, because I covered it up with many things like drugs and alcohol, and just focusing on anything but the traumas that I had survived and witnessed. So that's just sort of an introduction to what institutional abuse is and how it can affect people long term. That's just an introduction, not even really touching the tip of the iceberg. So this channel has been focusing on domestic violence, but Also, institutional abuse, youth institutional abuse, it needs to be stopped. We've got to figure something out. We need to, there's many ways to do that. So I'll include some links in the description box on how you can find out more and some things that you can do. And I wish you all the very best day and evening. Please feel free to comment and like and subscribe for more videos and to help raise awareness and funds for these organizations, the SIA organization and the YWCA being the two primary organizations that I would be donating to. Thanks a lot, you guys. Bye.